Welcome to Talk in the Park, conversations with Paul and Noel, where we gather to think out loud about what it means to follow Jesus in our world. So welcome back to Talk in the Park. This is Paul on solo duty today. I'm interviewing two young men, Colin Seal and Sam Meslow, about their mission trip experience with Patterson Park. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Greetings.
Yeah. So let's start. This was not a question that we queued you up on. We like to ask our guests how you came to know Jesus and how long have you been at Patterson Park Church? So let's start with you, Colin.
Okay. I'm going to actually answer the second one first. So I've been at Patterson Park, honestly, as long as I can remember. I think we moved here in 2010 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember when the year breakover was, and then this has been my church family ever since.
Okay.
So I suppose you're asking really for my testimony here.
Right.
Yeah. So as you probably guessed by how long I've been here, I grew up in this church.
Mm-hmm.
I've been surrounded really as long as I can remember with believers, but for a long time, it was hard for me to separate, like, this church is my church. It's the house of God, but I mean, it's also my community center. It's where I go to see my friends. It's a lot of other things, and it was hard for me sometimes to separate, like, church is where I come to worship, but it's also all this other stuff to me. And so it kind of diluted the message of Christianity from just the culture that I lived in. I'm not sure when I would say that I fully became a believer. I've said I was Christian for a long time, but I don't really know if I fully understood what that meant.
Sure.
I would say that quarantine was actually a good thing for that because it kind of took a lot of that away. It wasn't the place that I just went every week anymore. And so if I wanted to continue my faith, it had to be more personal.
Yeah.
So I ended up talking to a lot of people over that. My dad, Joey, who is our youth pastor. But eventually I grew to have a deeper understanding of God and the church and my place within it as not just my home and my family, which it still very much is, but also as the place where, I mean, my soul's been saved. Like, it's yes and so much more.
Oh, that's great. Sam, what's your story?
Yeah, so I've been at Patterson Park Church since conception.
Okay.
I grew up in the church, of course, and accepted Christ at age 6. But, it was kind of, I'm younger. There's still a lot of this naive innocence. Everything I did was through the church, with other people at the church. I didn't really have this idea of the outside secular world. I only had this kind of like inside view, and I hadn't really taken a step back to look at it in a broader sense of, other world views to have a true understanding of mine. So the year after quarantine, when, a lot of things changed, like social interactions kind of just stopped from outside the family. I went to a camp called Worldview Academy, and that whole camp was focused on looking at the Christian worldview and secular worldviews from a Christian worldview. So that experience helped me have a firmer grasp and understanding of Christianity truly was. As at that time, I went to that camp several years in a row, that I truly was able to actually grow my faith and like actually, start living as a Christian, start truly pursuing the relationship instead of it just kind of being this everyday thing or even just like once a week.
Oh, that's great. So you guys were involved in the SOS trip. So let's just start at the very beginning. It's not Save Our Ship. What does SOS stand for?
SOS stands for Service Over Self.
Okay. Now, is that the name of an organization, or is that our name for that trip? What's that? Where did that name come from?
It's their organization name.
And this organization's in Memphis?
Yes, Memphis, Tennessee.
All right. So tell us about the SOS ministry there. When you're not there, what are they doing?
All right. So when we're not there, they're still doing a lot of local ministries. I know that So first of all, they work with a lot of other local churches and communities to help facilitate community interaction. They, if I'm remembering this correctly, they also have programs for basically teaching applicable life skills
Oh, okay.
to younger members of the community who might not have a place for them. And that's two roles. It gets them off the street or wherever, and it gives them a place to start learning a trade,
Right.
learning life skills, and most importantly, learning the gospel.
Oh, that's great. So every year, Patterson Park sends a group of teenagers down to SOS. And when I heard about this, I couldn't believe it. First, you're in Memphis in the summertime, so I know the heat is ghastly bad.
Not that bad.
And you're up on the roof. I can't think of anything worse than getting a bunch of teenagers up on the roof. It sounds like emergency runs just all the time. So tell us about what you're doing down there and reassure everyone about the safety measures that you take.
So one of the main points that both our trip leader points out and that the SOS team emphasizes is that the trip is not about the roof, despite how much we frame it around that. The roof is kind of just the meeting place. The main point of the trip is getting to know your homeowners. And by getting to know these homeowners who've grown up in a very different culture, like sure, they're still in the U.S., but Memphis, Tennessee, Orange Hill, I believe it is, or Orange Mound, is a very different place from Beaver Creek, Ohio. And they've grown up in a little more of an impoverished, very rough area. So their views on everything is going to be different.
Sure.
So by getting to know these people, it's not only they that are being served, but also you. And that's where SOS comes in with this idea called the potluck.
Okay.
So they make this comparison between a soup kitchen and a potluck.
Okay.
And at soup kitchens, it's kind of one group coming in kind of with an easy to like mass make food, they're just serving everyone. It's one-sided. It's just
Right.
going one direction. But at potluck, everyone's going to come in and make their best food, and everyone's going to get a plate, stack up on every food, and all eat together and talk and get to know each other. And it's a lot more, goes both ways.
Right.
Each group is coming to the table with what they have to give and all coming away with something new.
So these families that you're serving in Memphis, are they mostly Christian families? Or are they non-Christian families? Or is this just a mix? How are they selected?
I think they're mostly Christian.
Okay.
I think we have had a few homeowners who weren't before. I don't actually know I know that they have like a pretty extensive selection process of like
Okay.
who qualifies and who they let campers work on. I am not sure about the details.
Okay. All right. Safety measures. I assume you've got something to keep people from rolling
Yeah.
off the roof.
So our number one, we get a safety briefing at the
Okay.
start of every day,
Uh-huh.
and a big one at the start of the week, which just goes over, first of all, the heat.
Yeah.
So drinking lots of water, hydrate, don't dehydrate.
I like
And
that.
we often work in shifts
Uh-huh.
once it gets over a certain temperature, which is like most of the time.
Right.
So I think it's 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off to avoid the heat. They teach us how to use and set up properly and ensure the safety on our ladders. They have us wear hard hats every time we're on the ground to avoid falling shingles, dropped hammers,
Sure.
etc. Once we get up on the roof, we're clipped into safety ropes, which
very good.
then we can slide our loops along. So even if you fall off, it's going to catch you before you hit the ground.
Very good. Okay. I'm breathing a sigh of relief. I feel much better about this now.
I don't think we've ever had anyone actually fall off a roof.
So why did you guys decide to go? So you said you've been on 4, you've been on 3 trips?
Yes.
Right? So how old were you when you went on your first trip?
We were freshmen, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Help me understand. You're an 8th grader. You're looking forward to starting on this. And what are you thinking about what it's going to be like? Why did you decide to do this? Just because everybody else was?
So the first time I actually got it recommended to me. Obviously it was announced during youth group, like,
Right.
hey, sign up for this thing. And I actually wasn't so sure. I mean, like, you're going to a different state for a week.
Right.
It's unknown. It's a bunch of people that I didn't really know
Right.
at that point.
The other kids in the group.
Yeah, the other kids in the group.
Mm-hmm.
But I got brought on board, and all of the older kids who had been on it before were like, "No, this is worth it.
Great.
You're gonna want to do this, and you're gonna come away for it different and better." It's a great experience, and for me, this was also a chance. I don't think this was, if memory serving, the first mission trip I'd ever been on, but it was definitely one of them. Might have actually been the first, but this was different from a camp or
Right.
anything else that we'd done in the youth group at that point, or for me at least. Not like they weren't still doing it, but so this was a chance to tangibly serve God and have a real opportunity to interact with non-Christians potentially, and evangelize, to start putting your faith into practice.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
In a way that an 8th grader could do.
That's wonderful. Sam, tell us about your mindset going in, why you went, what you were expecting.
Yeah, the main reason why I like went in the first place is like all my siblings had done it. My father was the trip leader.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I was gonna go on the trip. I was excited. I was gonna, get to spend time with the, like friends, get to know people. But I would say it really didn't happen until later trips where I kind of started looking less inwards but more upwards, like the true impact of the trip and truly learning from it.
So what surprised you the most about this experience, going on this trip, especially that first trip? You have a set of expectations, then you get there and you say, oh, this is not what I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I expected.
Yeah, I've actually got 2 to share, I think. One from my first and one from this year.
Okay.
The first time, it was kind of weird for me. Like, I don't love heights,
Okay.
really. And so getting up on the roof was actually like a big experience, like kind of a big block for me. But
Sure.
anyways, I got up there and it was a lot different from what I expected. I expected, Sam talked about the potluck mentality earlier. I didn't really have that going in. I'd never heard of it before
Yeah.
SOS. I was expecting to go there and we were going to fix these people's roofs
Right.
and we were going to, evangelize them, and everyone would be able, like, we were going to go out there and be a lamp up on a stand,
Yeah.
city on a hill and all that, on the roof where the whole neighborhood could see that, like, we were working here and our attitude about that. What I came away with was very different. I mean, it was all those things. I hope that people got to see our Christ-likeness. I hope that the people we talked to were impacted. But getting to hear the homeowner and her story, like the lives that she lived and I lived were so different, but
Right.
both of us had common ground with Christ. It was something that connected us, and wherever we go, I mean, across the country, a few states over, or around the world, we were part of God's family. And she really welcomed us like it, and we tried our best to give it in kind, that we were family together.
Oh, that's great. Sam?
Yeah, so kind of the same as Colin. Like for my first trip, I was thinking a lot more soup kitchen mentality, a lot less potluck mentality. But then, comparing that to having come home this year from SOS, and, having thought about the trip, kind of past years and all more, like the thing that surprised me the most on this past trip was in my first 2 years, I didn't really interact with my homeowner a lot.
Yeah.
Like my homeowner, like they came out occasionally, like we said hi. We always got them like gifts. But our homeowner this year, her name was Mary. We brought her a gift, but before that we had gotten to know her, and we learned that she kind of grew up on a farm and all, and that she liked tomato plants.
Wow.
But she didn't have any tomato plants, so we went to Lowe's and got her a tomato plant, a pot, all the stuff she needed to grow some cherry tomatoes. And her reaction when we gave it to her was one of the most beautiful things ever. Like, she was dancing, clapping,
Oh,
praising the
that's
Lord,
sweet.
hugging us all. And she was really ecstatic as she then, kind of told us a bit of her story when she was just younger. Like, this means a lot because
Yeah.
it reminded her of, her childhood, her parents.
Yeah.
And that was what was truly beautiful. And then that in turn affected me because, like, it kind of reminded me, like, I can make an impact, but also, like, maybe this is how I should act more in my life. And 2 weeks later, I kind of did this, like, solo study on the idea of joy in sync with the idea of home that we covered that week in our chapel sessions at SOS, and kind of just this, like, broader idea of how the Christian should act and live. And I would say that was truly one of the things that I learned the most, just taking this potluck mentality and looking at things through those lens. So now whenever people come back from a mission trip, one of the things I ask them is, what did you learn? How did this affect you
Sure.
from the people that you interacted with?
We were actually on the same house, and that was the second thing that I was going to share as well, because very similar to him, I mean, this was almost, like, it wasn't a big deal to me. Where she said she liked tomatoes, we're going to go get her a tomato, because it's a little more personal than, I don't know, a rug or
Right.
some flowers or whatever. But like he said, seeing that impact, like, that we as a group and me personally, like, the impact that we could have on people and that they could have back on us. We've been saying this potluck mentality, but I'm going to kind of clarify what that means a little bit more. We're going to serve these people. We're going to give our time, our energy, our effort, and hopefully be a beacon of Christ likeness. But we're not just there to serve, we're also there to learn in turn. These people can be wildly different from us, but they also have something to share with us. Whether it's just a talk, whether it's a moment shared together, whatever it may be, both of us on both sides, whether you're from Ohio or Tennessee, can come away from this week grown, refreshed in Christ, reinvigorated, ideally, just to renew that sense of familial fellowship with God.
Well, you said something about chapel, and I realized I don't know what a day on an SOS trip looks like, and I didn't know there was a chapel. So start with where do you sleep overnight, and then you wake up in the morning, and just kind of walk us through a typical day in an SOS trip.
Sure, I can take us through this one. So basically, the day we get there, it's kind of like a party. Like, all the vans come rolling in. We're grabbing our bags, and they split us up. So the SOS compound has kind of a downstairs and upstairs, and the upstairs is like a dorm, basically. So they split guys and girls, and we're in these big dorm rooms, which are then sectioned into smaller areas for bunks.
Okay.
And then that's where we sleep. Then when you wake up on a normal day, you wake up, shower off, whatever, head downstairs for breakfast, which they serve in this big kind of cafeteria-style area. They have breakfasts are often made by local churches. We'll bring in food for us for breakfasts and dinners. And while we're there, we pack ourselves a lunch sandwich from basically a sandwich bar to make, and throw that in our bags, throw those in the vans. Then we go fill up on water, get water jugs, because, we're out there, we're not able to run out all the time. So we kind of get all of our supplies done, but then we have a morning, briefing. So they give us, we do like a wake up exercise thing. They give us safety instructions, what the weather's going to be like, and just general encouragement and reminders. That's often where like the potluck mentality gets brought back up of like, yeah, and then we pray together. So then we go off, we get in our vans and drive down to wherever we're working. We work on the roofs, usually, although we don't always just work on the roof because there's a ground crew too.
Oh,
So anyone who's not on the roof is working ground crew, and they're picking up shingle debris, running sweeps for nails with nail magnets, but they also often will end up helping the homeowner with basically landscaping.
okay.
So, I mean, just whatever they need, however we can help. We're here. We might as well be doing
Now,
something.
when you're down there for your week, are you the only church? Are there other churches there at the same time, or is just Patterson Park for your week?
There's typically 2 to 3 other churches there.
I see.
And they can be from all over the state. I have been to SOS with churches from Georgia, Alabama, Michigan. You don't remember what like the farthest west one? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Do they mingle the
lot.
crews from the different churches, or are you always just working with the PPC kids?
So your crew won't get mingled, but there can be multiple crews at a house depending on
Right.
how big it is.
Right.
So I have not been with a different church. I've always been on houses that only had one crew, but I know other people have been with other churches before.
My first year, I was with a crew from Tennessee.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Okay, so let's fast forward 10 years. So you're in your late 20s. Maybe you're married, maybe you have children. But regardless, you look back on the SOS experience. What do you think you're still going to remember and cherish that far out?
I think that one thing I'm definitely going to remember is how to put your skills to work for Christ. Because whether you're raking leaves or ripping up shingles or putting on new shingles or doing repair work on roof structure, or whether you're back in the compound talking to people from other churches, playing games, everywhere that Christ-likeness is supposed to come through. To do it joyfully, to do it without complaining, to be gracious, humble. I think that getting to go away from what's normal, to get into a new routine, to meet new people, and to be doing new things is a good reminder and a reset
Yeah.
to how am I supposed to be living like this every day?
That's good. Sam?
Yeah, so there are kind of two things that I'll probably like continue remembering. The first being from Mary, the homeowner we gave the tomato plant, and that reaction, how it kind of sparked a few things afterwards when I came home,
Yeah.
and still now and all. And then other things, just like the friendships I built at SOS that I'm continuing even now, just kind of through conversations and things as such.
All right, very good. Thank you, men, for being with us this morning, today. And thank you for your work with SOS, and God bless you as you move forward from this point.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time on Talk in the Park. Talk in the Park is a production of Patterson Park Church. No duplication without written permission. Music composed, performed, and recorded by Jason McClurg. Produced by Sue Stevens. Audio engineering and editing by John Ambrose. Check out our blog, Discipleship Weekly, at pattersonpark.org. Join us next time for Talk in the Park.